Should you go to a HBCU or PWI Law School? And I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on that. I might agree, I might disagree, but me personally, I don't think that is the question you should be asking. I think you should be asking, which one has the better opportunities for me? I don't care if it's HBCU, I don't care if it's PWI. Which one is offering me more financial aid? Which one is offering me more opportunities within the legal field with law firms, with has a better alumni base, is in the area that I want to live in? Everything that we've talked about up until this point, I don't think you should have a list of HBCUs and a list of PWIs, for example. It should all be one list. And if that HBCU or PWI happens to check off more things on the list, then go with that school. Yes, there are some firms, there are some organizations that might only want Yale graduates, for example. And that just might not be the place for you. But I know plenty of people who have came from some of the best HBCUs in the country and are doing so well. I don't care what law school you go to. Practicing is a totally different story. Whether it's HBCU, PWI, practicing is totally different. It's not like law school. So that shouldn't deter you from one law school over the other. Whether a school offers you a good scholarship package should deter you. So those are definitely things that you want to consider. But before I move on, I wanted to say one more thing with HBCUs and PWIs. Let's say you're like me. You went to Hampton University for undergrad, which is in an HBCU. Amazing experience. I will not go on my Hampton soapbox, but I love my HBCU. But being that I went to HBCU, I knew it was time to go to a PWI. I've been in black schools my entire life, from preschool to college. Black schools my entire life. Knowing that the legal profession, unfortunately, as of today, and why Jazz Chalks Law was created, knowing that the legal profession is predominantly a white male profession, we need to expose ourselves to that. And our first exposure shouldn't be our first day of practice. And that's what I considered when I selected Mercer. I knew Mercer would expose me to some things that I wasn't familiar with. I knew I would be around classmates that didn't necessarily look like me. And that's important, because when you practice, unfortunately, and why Jazz Talks Law was created, the people in the courtroom with you are not going to look like you if you look anything like I do. So, like I said, if you went to an HBCU for undergrad, definitely consider a PWI for law school. And vice versa. If you went to VCU for, or any PWI or what have you for undergrad, and now you're deciding between, let's say you're deciding between Howard Law and I don't know, George Mason Law, or some, I don't know, any law school. Let's say you're deciding between HBCU and PWIs. Definitely consider what they can offer you, consider money, consider all of that first. But if everything else remains the same, and it literally comes down between two great schools, and they're both offering me the same scholarships, they both can provide me the same opportunities, and if you went to a PWI, I would definitely consider going to that HBCU, especially if you grew up in an environment where you were always the minority. Those are some things that I would definitely consider in regards to the PWI HBCU debate.